Welcome back. Today I'm using the E Squeegee. Um, I like that tool, man. I was using it for the rest of the day yesterday, and it didn't take me long to get used to how this thing moves. You know, as similar as it seems, it it moves different because it's a lighter tool. Uh, I'm also using Sorbo's S arm and hello.
Hey, how are
All right. Sorbo's S arm and the Mamba on some different windows, but on these insides, I like that tool. I favor it because it's like holding nothing. It's like holding nothing. And yes, I've made some errors in what I was talking about because I was talking as I was going. Some people, they actually use a product to its fullest and then they edit it, and I don't do a whole lot of editing in my videos, all right? Because I want everything to be as natural and just honest. And that's what it's all about, man. Sharing one's experience in their natural state, not tampering with that by any way, and giving yourself a chance to erase some things that you may have said. We say things, and we should say it without any regrets because that's what's on our minds. But that tool, I realized something. If you understand window cleaning, then you will understand what I'm about to tell you. This pad is up to the end, right? It's an eclipse system, so that means the Velcro system really left out on this, right? But the pad is up to the end. When you swivel, right, with a loose solution such as mine, this is where you have to be mindful. That loose solution, because where does the water want to go? It wants to go out the end of the channel in drip form. So when you wet this pad, all that water gets trapped in that chamber, right? So that means you would have to clean the window a certain way. So let's say if you're cleaning the window, right, you got too much water on this. Look, let me show you something. You see the water dripping on the end? That's what I'm talking about. But when you're swiveling, it depends on how much water is saturated on the pad at the time. But let me tell you, like I said, what will help you. When you squeegee the window, you should go for the corners. You see how the water's rushing to that side? And then you come here and then you start swinging. This way, you clear the ends, right? You see how it didn't get up? Because this framework isn't the best. But that's because see, now it's gone. See, that's because your solution is loose. But if you swing it like that, right? Instead of going side to side to side, if you swing it like that, dive bomb down, right? And then dive bomb down to the other one, it's just like how we normally would do. But you have to keep in mind you can't get nuts with this tool swiveling all types of crazy ways because of this pad. You just keep it simple and you will move much quicker than any other tool that you may have used to clean windows. You see, I didn't have to agitate that window, but it's clean, right? And the only reason why it's clean because there's no fingerprints. So if you see fingerprints, remember what I said? You see how well you can agitate back and forth? I know my solution. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get some soap on the subject so y'all can actually really see what's going on. So I'll put some soap on the pad so you can see what's going on. Now these windows are tinted, but when you have a tool like this, it will clean like it's not even tinted. This is why this squeegee probably is one of the better ones for doing stuff like e-glass, tempered glass, and you know. All right, so, oh, that feels nice. Oh, see, if you have a moderate amount of water and soap, you can get right up to that edge. But if you have something that needs to be scrubbed on the corner of it, you'll have, like on the corner, let me show you something. You see? Look how it gets right up to the edge when you're mopping. I don't think the other one pass tools gets up to that edge like this one does. But like I said, when you do this squeegee, look, you see, it got all the water off, you know, because this pad actually acts like a sponge. You know how Frank Rave has that sponge and he goes and dries the edges? It's the same concept, sort of, in a way. It's hard for me to explain it, but I like this tool. There's a little dot there. Want to see it disappear? See that little dot? Let's get rid of that. You see? It's gone. This is what I mean by the agitation process. You can do that easily. Not as easy as the other ones because the pad is not exposed like the others. On the power pivot itself, slipstream, it is more exposed. This one is halfway exposed, but I don't think that's really a big deal. But when it comes to cutting down your time on agitation process, you may want to use a different tool depending on how many fingerprints. But if you have that many fingerprints, you might not want to use this tool anyway. You know, you can use this you can have a separate mop T-bar and use it in conjunction with this, just so you don't have resistance on certain types of glass, like how I'm doing in here with tin. What's a beautiful thing I also want to mention about this tool? It is a lovely sound to not hear metal grinding on certain frameworks because we have to get all the way up to the edge. There's no metal grinding on this. It is super whisper quiet, and this is what Willie has done, man. He has changed the game, man. Once again, he's changed the game. Uh, I think this is going to be my new favorite power pivot. The Power Pivot E Squeegee. The Power Pivot One Pass E Squeegee. Uh, I really don't think I need to dog ear this because now I've really figured out how to get detail-free results with this. This is outstanding. See, the more I use this, the more I learn about this tool. And Willie did a fantastic job on this, man. He did a fantastic job. It amazes me what goes on through his head. Who would think to make a plastic squeegee like this? And for what reason? Well, he's just explained it to us in that little E squeegee sheet I showed y'all, where his mind was going, and now I see, and you will see too. Now, this door is pretty much clean, right? So, I'm gonna just show you what you would do with a door like this. See, the good thing about this tool also, it won't bend. You know how metal bends? This will break before it bend, but it will take a lot of strength to to break this like that. So what you would do is you go right in the squeegee, right? And you see there's nothing to detail around the edges, right? So now let's see if we agitate it, right? All right, so we agitated it, right? See all the water? Now look. Look, nothing to detail again. See, it all depends on how you handle the squeegee. And I may have shot at the gun about you will have to detail. No, you won't um, if you know how to clean a window properly, first off. And secondly, if you know how to use a wagtail in general and their one pass pads, tools. But it's nothing wrong with that tool. Not at all. It's a learning curve, just like anything else. Anything new you get, you got to learn how to use it, right? All right. If your solution is loose, like how I had it, when you agitate the windows, right? Let me just show you. Now, you know how you come down, you come up, and then you wag down the mountain? When you turn, this is where you might get those arcs, depending on how loose your solution is. So what you have to do is you have to make shallower turns. Just like the Mormon accelerator, this won't leave that arc. So remember I said you have to change your technique up. Now, this window, for some reason, gives me problems. So I'm a dive bomb. And this is what I mean by changing your technique up. I have gotten away from dive bombing because I had no need to when your channels are dog-eared. So let's just show you that. All right, let's soap up the window. You see how it gets right up to the edge? All right, let me clean that. You see it's clean? It didn't even leave a mark, but you see how it gets right up to the edge? It washes right up to the edge. You want that. You want that, especially if the windows are a little soiled. But remember, this squeegee, you're really not going to use this on a real dirty window. So, that's something on my rubber. But you see, detail-free results. There's no water left behind. And the channel's not even dog-eared. It's all about how you use the tool and how you got to change your technique up if you're used to cleaning a certain way. Show you what happens when your solution is loose. When you have more bubbles, you'll get less strips. But this is the first time I use it on this pole, and I gotta tell you, this feels nice on the pole. Let me show you what these tools is good for. I'm using one hand, so you gotta bear with me. But you see, the runners disappear. See, this is what is good. You don't have to put a rag on the pole. You don't have to break out your maker handy sleeve. That's an extra tool. This could be your correction tool. And you won't have to re-wet the whole window. Masters at Wagtail Tips.